All right, welcome back, everyone. I had a couple go with this, but I want to try to stick to a good standard here. The goal here is to do kind of a wrap up for each of the different days. Obviously, day one here will be the Crusader and Tumbril day. So there is a day one video if you want to take a look at that, but this is meant to be kind of a quick and version of that particular offering. So what we're looking at here is the Intrepid. Obviously, they did release this. Pricing wise, it's actually about $5 more than the Avenger. However, obviously, because it's on sale right now, it's a little bit less expensive. And so you can get a hold of it now as a LTI token if you're interested in it. Again, I think the value proposition is not super great for the ship. The interior is great. I like the interior quite a bit, but as far as actual functionality and capabilities, I think it's a bit of a miss there. So that's where I kind of give it not as much of a value. I mean, if you just as a standalone ship, it's fine. But as far as like a new player kind of getting into the game, I wouldn't recommend it as a starter ship. That's just the way that it is. That's my personal opinion on it, right? There's better starters out there, and although right now it's lower cost, you can actually get a lower cost starter and then end up upgrading to one that makes more sense. Especially with the coming days, there probably should be a nice war bond you could probably get into, possibly like a Cuddy Black or something like that, that would be more valuable for you. Additionally, we will talk about war bonds. So war bonds, there is a M2 currently it's available. Also, they still have the Prowler available. So, I don't want to do engineering right now. It's not even in the game. There's a Prowler also available, which is pretty close to the M2. So if you're interested in getting stopping at the M2, or you're building a chain out above the M2, that's a pretty decent pickup. And then the Prowler is as well. So if you want to pick up both of those to make your way up towards something like maybe the Perseus in the future, those could be good pickups. Additionally, we'll also cover some of the questions that Ben Curtis covered. But first, I want to discuss a little bit about the topic of discussion they had today was TDK, but it's not really time to kill as much as it's time to disable. Obviously, engineering is probably not going to make it to, well, it's definitely not probably, but it's definitely not going to make it to 4.0. So it'll make it a later iteration of 4.0. But the kind of discussion was around once engineering comes around, you can actually repair a ship. What will that look like? Bigger the ship is, the more repairable it should be and harder it should be to actually kill it and destroy it outright. The goal would be to use the engineer's capabilities to actually get it back up and running. So it could also be stolen that way as well. So that was kind of some of the discussion around that if you want to take a look at that. They also had some interesting discussions around how some of the NPC ships that are maybe like pirates and stuff that may not be as kept up. Kind of think of the Expanse and the Belters. The idea there being as some of the ships would be kind of thrown together based off of what they find scrapping and salvaging, and so they may not offer the same capabilities as ships that would be based off of a particular guild or reputation that might have their own production capabilities. I do want to kind of look at the different holographs as well to kind of keep track with what's kind of going on. So Tumbril here is this is the Ranger. So these are obviously for sale right now in the store as well, but they are concepts, so they're not made available. They're kind of a little bike with guns. This one has guns. There's other variants that are meant for racing and whatnot. We'll also make our way over here, and we'll see the Starliner over here, which is for the Genesis. So I don't know when this will be made out. No updates for these two, so I wouldn't expect to see these anytime soon. And neither one of these two, to my recollection, showed up as ships that they're currently working on. So moving on to Ben's questions before we wrap this all up. Ben did cover that capital ships, all the capital ships should more or less have the PDS or the personal defense system. So the only ship that's kind of missing that right now is the Reclaimer. So hopefully in the future, the Reclaimer has capital components, so I would expect to see the Reclaimer getting PD, the personal defense system, but I know it's kind of on the line of a large ship or capital. I mean, it's a large ship, it's a capital ship, but I don't know if they're actually going to give it a personal defense system. Hopefully that's something they'll add at a later date, but it sounds like most capital ships, if not all, should get the personal defense system. Additionally, he did confirm that Perseus was one of the ships that was confirmed to be that they're working on from the silhouettes. So hopefully we'll see that at some point in time, probably next year. No surprise there, considering that's something that everyone was able to identify, and we expect that one to be potentially out next year. Additionally, he did confirm that the Super Hornet is Mark II is something they're also working on. So that's probably the Mark II Hornet that we saw in the silhouettes as well. So he kind of confirmed actually two ships in my eyes. He didn't officially confirm the Super Hornet Mark II, but he did mention that's something that we're working on. So I suspect that will be coming out potentially as well relatively soon. Probably around Fleet Week, I would expect it to probably drop around then. Additionally, he did talk about the Connies, so there's no Mark V planned, but it appears to be that they'll work on the updating that to a gold standard at some point. He didn't actually put any timing on that, but someone kind of asked, hey, will we see a new Mark series kind of to go along with the Zeus? And he did say no, it would just be kind of a gold standard, which is good. I hate the idea of just having a bunch of these different Mark series coming along, the Mark iterations to ships. It's fine if it has like new weapons and stuff like that, but the Connie doesn't really need that. It really just needs interior love with the gold standard. So just making it up to date with the current play standards of the gold standard that's needed to be more efficient in game, given the updates on cargo and the way inventory is managed. So hopefully we'll see that soon with the Connies. I don't want to say soon, but hopefully we'll see that sooner than later, I guess, is a hope on my part as they work on that. Additionally, did confirm that the Carrack will have at least some variant of a refresh in 4.0. There'll be cargo doors and a blast shield added. Those are the two things he did confirm. I'm hoping there'll be more of a refresh than that. I'm hoping they'll see some of the gold standard stuff as far as having interior access to your ship and things of that nature, that you can actually make it a little more playable and livable than its current form is in game. So it sounds like 4.0 will be a bit of a win with Carrack, and I'm looking forward to that. Actually, it's something I'll probably need to check out. Well, I don't have a way to get a hold of a Carrack in 4.0, but at any rate, it'd be worthwhile if someone has a Carrack in 4.0 to check it out in the latest iterations to see if those have been done already in the testing. Additionally, he did confirm that MISC is something some of the next manufacturer, as well as Drake, to be working on some of the larger ships once they're done with stuff like the Perseus and RSI. He didn't describe what other stuff they're going to work on besides the Perseus, so there's a chance that they work on the Galaxy and stuff like that. At this point, I see that more as hope than actual something that they're going to be doing. I mean, I feel bad for the Galaxy folks because they're having to wait on a ship that potentially they should already be working on. For me, I don't see modularity as a current high point for current projected important area for CIG to work on, so I wouldn't expect to see the Galaxy up next. But at any rate, there is a chance they work on some other ships like like that with RSI. Looks like they're already going to work on the Apollo as well, so I suspect they'll work on that. But I don't know, again, if we'll see any updates on the Galaxy. We'll find out more on RSI Day. But it sounds like MISC and Drake are up to bat, and so the Drake we would probably see. Of course, the Ironclad is intended to be worked on. Whether that's the Ironclad and the Assault, just the standard. But we'll definitely see some updates there, and hopefully a release on the Ironclad. Additionally, MISC, we'll see some. They're supposed to be working on those as well, so I'm not sure which of the MISC ships. I doubt it will be just the Expanse. Probably be somewhere more aligned. Maybe the Endeavor. There's a number of MISC ships out there, so we'll have to see what they're working on. Looking forward to see on MISC Day what kind of updates they have for some of the stuff they might be working on. That's about it for the roundup. There wasn't a whole lot of confirmed stuff, but hopefully in the next coming days we'll get more information from some of the other manufacturers. Thank you all for checking out the video. I'll catch you all next time. Peace.